I will give you a short brief overview of the elements in the Miro extension. In the last video, you installed the extension. We can just open it here. This is the first screen. This is basically the starter screen. Here you can add your license key if you have one. If not, just continue with the free account. Here you can add your AI token. It's stored within the bot, inaccessible to anyone but your account. Here you have some reporting possibilities to see how many elements are on the board. We will see that later. And here's your starting point. This is basically the tutorial you can use to get started using it. This is one of the screens you will use most often. You can use this screen to place elements on the screen. And here you have the most important elements to build event models. You have commands, you have events, you have queries, and everything you need. You have even more down here. All the elements necessary you will find here. These elements here are the elements you need all the time. So you have these shortcuts to use them. Here also you have the possibility to convert elements which are not placed by the tooling. So if you have, for example, placed a sticky note without the tooling, you will need to convert it. This is my event to the tooling format, and you can just do it by using this conversion tab here. Just say this is an event, so the tooling knows it can work with it. The next screen here is basically already the detailed view for each element, and this is slightly different for each element. You have the fields that are available, fields which are not available. You can add the name here. So this is, for example, customer registered. Just save it. You can reopen it. You can say what type is this. Of course, this is an event. You also see this by the color. You can say what is the context of this event. It's an internal event. It's an external event. Internal event typically means it's the domain event. External event typically means it's an integration event. You can define the fields. So let's add a new field here. For example, we can say we have the customer name as a field. You can just save, or you can add the field here and just continue with more fields. So if you have more fields to add, like the email, just add plus here. The only thing you need to remember is you need to save at the end. If you don't save, you will lose this information. If you add these fields, you can make this a little bit bigger. You see the fields are added here, and they are also maintained and stored in the metadata of this element. So there is no central place. All the data is stored in the metadata of each element. We can add a lot of meta information for each field. For example, for the customer name, we can say this is a string. This could be a UUID. So for example, if we add something like the customer ID, this could be a UUID. Just add it, save it, and it will be added to the event. If you want to add something like the aggregate ID, you just say, use this button here as a shortcut, which will add the aggregate ID and mark the aggregate ID as an ID field. For each element, you can say we have the cardinality. Elements can be lists, or elements can be single elements. So we could say there's a list of addresses, for example, which is of type custom, and this is a list attribute. Like this, add it and save it. So we could say we have a list of customer addresses. Currently, it's not possible to really maintain complex objects within the schema. So what I do then is I use the custom object and provide examples in the data. You will see this later. For each attribute or field in the event, you can also say it's an ID element, it's a generated element. You will see in a second what generated means. It's optional. This is just a hint for the code generation, or it's an exclusion for the API. This is also a hint for the code generation. Then we have mapping and example. Example basically allows you to provide examples for each field. So for example, if we use the email, it could be martin@nebulit.de. Just save it. And the examples are also provided here. So this is just to give you more information. The next two views here are the slices view. We will talk about slices later when we go into details about the modeling, and this is the code generation. Code generation is only available if you have a company license. So this is basically what you can do. We will learn about all these elements later in the course. So for now, this is basically how you get started. What I would suggest is you should just go to the first screen here, go to the tutorial, and start the tutorial. It will guide you through the first 11 steps to build an event model, and this will be a great starting point for the upcoming sessions.